I'd like to talk for just a minute. And I think what I'm going to talk about is really very important because, what I've discovered in all the years I've been doing this meditation, that it acts like a mirror of exactly what is going on inside each and every human being. And it's a kind of mirror, a reflection, life itself becomes that reflection of what we as people have to work through in order to get a state of inner peace, connection with spirit. And there's nothing negative. You understand? I mean, look, buried inside people, there's depression, there's unhappiness, there's being a victim, there's this, there's fear. There's also joy, and there's also love, and there's also, a deep sense of our worthiness to have a wonderful life. And, the work that goes on inside a human being, it's like a fairy tale, It's, as I always compare it, it's like a knight, in one of those old medieval tales, having to confront a dragon in order to get either the pot of gold or the damsel in distress, or some kind of incredible reward that exists on the other side of depression and unhappiness and being a victim and fear, et cetera, et cetera. The meditation I teach will take you to all these things, and it will reveal to you exactly what you have to work on in order to truly become a child of God, to become free of yourself and to open to a higher force of energy in the universe that will give you a state of enlightenment. And if we don't work through these things, they just get buried again, they just get lost again, they control our lives, literally for the rest of our lives. So, whatever you experience inside yourself, it's an opportunity to grow. And even some of the most difficult things, I know when I first started doing this with Rudy, I would experience deep depression, all kinds of stuff. And I recognized, Stuart, this is what you have to work through. This is what you have to get to the other side of. If you don't get to the other side of it, it will haunt you for the rest of your life. And it made me work even deeper on myself. And it came up so many times. And every time, I never saw it as something negative. I saw it as something that was necessary for me to get free of. So I'm telling you this is that very often people will hit these areas of fear and insecurity and depression and et cetera, and they wind up, running away from the meditation. Well, I'm in no condition to meditate. It's not true. It really should be a reminder of how deep a person needs to go inside to get free of the things that are crippling them. On the other side of these things is an inner peace, love, creativity, connection with God, spirit, higher energy, all of the things that we truly value. And maybe above everything else, just becoming a happy person. Learning to live with joy in our hearts, with love inside us, and learning to recognize that there is nothing negative in life. Everything comes to us as a teacher about what we need to do as human beings to grow. Now, this is difficult, and I understand it's difficult because, in this work I teach, whatever is keeping you from having this will come up. It will come up. And then one has to tap that inner need inside to truly get past it, to struggle and fight that battle that enables one to get past that block, that condition, that unhappiness, so that we can finally free ourselves of it and learn how to live here with an open heart, with love. And I also must admit, working through that kind of stuff makes you very strong. You can deal with anything. Nothing throws you. You can truly deal with anything that manifests in your life. And then it teaches you how to truly open to your family, your friends, the people in your life, and understand what it means to love people unconditionally. Because the truth of the matter is everybody is going through this. I mean, I remember once I wrote down, suffering is the perfect democracy, you know? Every human being is going through it in one way or another, you know? And our ability to get through it, to conquer it, to transform it into joy, into love, gives us the ability to live here as compassionate human beings. So I'm saying this because I think it's an important element in what is being taught here, that there's nothing negative. There's just opportunities to grow and build your inner life and to get free of oneself, you know, to truly get free of oneself, that it's enough already. I don't have to spend the rest of my life being depressed and unhappy. I can fight my way through it. I can work my way through it. I can get stronger than it, and I can transform it inside myself into a highly developed chakra system that will enable me to love and to be happy and to truly function here on the highest level of what it means to be human. And this crosses all borders, you know? I mean, look, there are people here from all over the world, and it's not something that is just, you know, in New York City, you know? It's something that is wherever people live. They have to confront this kind of reality and learn how to get stronger than it and to work through it, to transform it into love, to joy, into being a happy human being. I know the difficulty of what I teach and my teacher taught was the fact that it takes everybody to exactly the place they have to learn to grow in order to get free of themselves. And then it's how deeply we need to grow that enables us to do it. Or do we just give up and allow unhappiness and depression and laziness and all kinds of things take over? Does anyone have a question they would like to ask?
Hi, Stuart, it's Paula.
Yes,
I
Paul.
have a couple questions. The first one is, can you talk about when the room fills with misty fog? Can you talk about what that is?
Mystic fog?
Misty fog. The room seems like there's like a misty fog.
What do you want me to say about misty? I don't know, Paul, what to talk about.
Okay, it happens sometimes. So I was just curious.
You know, look, what the room fills up with is you. Now, that might be a hard thing to swallow, but we live with misty fog, and this is what I spent 10 minutes talking about. We live with these things inside us, and then they manifest. So whatever you see in this meditation class is you. If you see misty fog, then your work is to get a little bit deeper to clarify that fog and transform it into white light, to orange, to, you know, to joy that radiates from your heart. So whatever you see in this meditation is a reflection of yourself.
Thank you.
Have the tools to get to the other side of yourself. And that's what I'm trying to teach everybody, how to do this, how to get to the other side of themselves. We have the tools. We have chakras, we have mind, we have breath, we have all the tools that can do this to get on the other side of our misty self,
Thank you.
which is us. What's the other question?
I wanted to ask you about when the body releases, say, patterns, or when it's energetically releasing, and say it shows up So right now I'm having like some throat issues. So I feel like there was some throat chakra transitioning. Can you talk about when the body processes stuff?
Yes, yes. I mean, look, you know, when you go deep inside yourself and open, the body will release poisons that are buried there, poisons that ultimately produce heart conditions, cancer, all kinds of very difficult physical problems are created from those poisons. The body will release them, and you will experience all kinds of physical things that will start coming out of you. You know, it's like when you get a cold, the flu, you know, the body is releasing poison, you know, and you get stiff, you get this, you get headaches, it's just poison coming out. And if you continue to work in depth, then you release that level of poison. You get rid of it, you get free of it. So, you know, this happens all the time. It happens to me. Look, and I've been doing this so many years. It used to happen to Rudy. I would see him going through such sometimes painful situations. And he would just tell me, I'm just releasing poison. It's just coming out of me. Today, I can't function. That's what he would tell me. I would go into his gallery and he'd be stringing beads. You know, what, Rudy, what the hell are you stringing beads? I'm not capable of doing anything else today. So I have to tune in to what's going on inside me and release all of that stuff so that I can tap a much deeper and more creative energy. Instead of fighting with yourself, you know, being unhappy that you feel pain and this, and just release it, let it go. On the other side of it is a remarkable you.
Thank you, Stuart. That's so helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome, dear. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? I hope this is clear to everybody because it's part of this meditation practice. It's not the kind of practice where you go through it, I'm okay, you're okay, being patted on the back and trying to make some false positivity. It's the meditation practice where you truly build nobility of soul. You get the strength, you know, to open up and release everything that is keeping you from getting to God. And you have the strength to work through it and to use the tools that are available to work through it. So you finally can attain a state of clarity inside, you know, joy inside, love inside yourself, you know, that's not being hindered by all that chaos. And then you can pass that on to the people you love. You know, compassion, love, you know, children, parents, your husbands, your wives, your boyfriends, girlfriends, whoever, that it can be passed on to them. And to God, out of sheer gratitude. I have finally gotten free of me. And there's gratitude that you offer up to God. And what comes back is truly miraculous. Life itself becomes a sacred vessel.
Can I share something?
Yes.
It's Galit.
Escalate.
Last week, I had difficulties in one of the meditation, and it was really hard for me. And then I heard myself telling to myself, "You have the sun in your inside of you. You have the moon inside of you. You have the galaxy. You're a universe.
Yes.
And that was quite weird that's what came up. And then a few days later, I read some more about the meditation, and I ran into Rudy's song about the stars. And something very, you have the sun in yourself, you have the moon, you're the universe. And it was,
Galit, I wrote a book called Leah, the story of meditation and healing. And there's a whole section in the book where this is based on a true story, this book. A young girl who had cancer and was told literally by the doctor she had 3 weeks to live. And there's a whole section of the book where I talk about the healing process, that the chakras are like the planets, the meridians are like the suns and moons and stars, and everything in the universe is a reflection of our inner state of being. And the whole problem is that the inner state of being is out of joint. There's so much tension inside people that the energy is not flowing, as a reflection of the universe. I suggest you read that book. You can get it from Amazon, and it talks about this exact thing.
yes, but before I was thinking about that the sun is in me, I felt like I'm nothing. I felt I wasn't good to myself with my thoughts. And
Well,
then this came up and said, you have the sun you have the sun, you have the moon, you have the universe.
yes.
And it was so strange because it didn't came from me at all, really. I didn't know it. And it was quite weird for myself to hear it, to hear me saying it to myself. It was.
Well, Galit, you are opening up inside. You've been doing this meditation for what, 3 weeks now? And it's starting to really open you up. And you begin to get those kind of messages. Look, the highest state a human being can attain is a state of nothingness, where you're free of your ego, your mind, all your opinions, and then the energy of God flows through and it guides you. There's room for that energy to flow through you and guide your life. So that state of nothingness means that you become one with everything in the universe. All of knowledge, all of wisdom, all of the teachings of higher powers, and it all flows through you. And
Yes, but it wasn't like that. I just felt worthless. It's not nothing like you describe it. I felt worthless, and I felt a negative emotion about myself. And then this came up, and I told to myself, you have the sun, you have the moon, you have the universe. And it lifts me up. And it was amazing because it wasn't me. Well, it's hard for me to explain, because when I read Rudy's songs, it was similar to what I felt, and it was quite amazing.
Yes, that's why I've been doing this for so long, because the revelations are extraordinary. You open to energy and you're being taught from a higher force. It's no longer the mind dictating the way you should live. It's God. But you've got to open inside to allow that to become a permanent reality. And that's what the meditation is for, to build that kind of system inside yourself. So, what you tell me really is wonderful, because you are the sun and the moon and all the stars and all the galaxies, and they all exist inside every single human being. What keeps us from tapping that and realize is tension, fear, insecurity, minds, all that stuff, the stuff I'm talking about that we have to get past in order for us to embrace the entire universe, which is inside us. Does anyone else have a question? They'd like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions, then there'll be a meditation again Tuesday. And God bless you all. Thank you for being here and being part of my life and giving me the opportunity to tap incredibly deep energies in myself and sharing them. So God bless you all. I'm
God
looking
bless
Thank
you.
you.
forward to seeing you Tuesday. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you, Stuart.